My son has a superpower. I know it's not hard to imagine because he's just incredible, and all his skills are often on display as he runs around the church in the mornings. I mean, you might, when I say he has a superpower, you might think of any number of things because he just does so many little things, little wonderful things. He's climbing. You might think his superpower is climbing. He's doing a wonderful job climbing. He climbs up on everything. You might think that his superpower is getting into things. He is amazing at that. He is so good at getting into things. You all have forgotten all of the just manifold, interesting things that are around your home, but he has not. He's not forgotten, and if you're around your home, he would find them. And he just gets into things. It's an incredible little power. You might think that is his superpower. Just any number of things. He's making up words. It's incredible. It's that. He says it's that. All animals say a dog sounds, woo woo. All animals, that is an incredible thing. He names animals. They're all named woo woo right now. He does a number of things. But really, he has a superpower. He has something that he does without fail over and over and over again. That actually, when I share it to you, you're going to be like, wow, that is a superpower. Because you see, my son falls down all the time. He falls down, and he falls down, he falls down, he falls down. We look at him and go, you fall down, and he falls down. Just this morning, he was carrying a communion cup and an egg in his hand, and he didn't pick his foot up, and boom. Fortunately, his little arms were out, so he caught himself with his arms. He just spends all day falling down, and you know what he does every single time after he falls down? He gets back up. He gets back up, and he gets back up, and he gets back up, and he gets back up every time. He falls down over and over and over again, and every single time he gets back up. Sometimes he's crying, and he gets back up just to stand and cry. He's like, I'm really upset about this, but I'm going to stand and be upset about it. How kind it is that God would give us a picture of us in our bodies doing something that we would need to learn and remember how to do many years later in our spirits. Because we fall down over and over again. We fall down, we fall down. We get knocked down. We weren't expecting that. We fall down, sure, whatever. We weren't expecting to get knocked down as often as we do in the world. Maybe as a consequence of things that we got wrong or could have done better. Maybe just through the cruelness and randomness and capriciousness of the world. We look at our own lives and go, those people didn't get knocked down that way, but I sure have. I've got knocked down over and over and over again. And we look around in our lives and we've just fallen down over and over and over again. And we know somehow that we need to be able to get back up, but there's only so many times you can just get back up, and I'm going to get back up again, and I experienced that, or now I've got to get back up again, and I experienced that unfairness, I got to get back up again, and that person got that thing that I wanted, and I haven't been able to get it, and that hurts, and I've got to get back up from that over and over and over again. And the challenge, and the reason why I said my son has a superpower, is because it's one thing to get back up once, it's one thing to get back up twice. It's very, very difficult to keep getting back up. And some of us have reached places in our lives and have endured hurts and getting knocked downs in our lives in such a way where we go, I just can't get back up from that again. And so we either stay laying down in our lives, or maybe we take some area of our life where we got knocked down and go, I can't get back up in that area anymore. And so I'm just kind of going to die to it. I'm going to pretend I didn't want it. I'm going to pretend it didn't hurt. I'm going to forget that part of myself because I can't get back up over there anymore. That's why my son has a superpower, because he just gets back up over and over and over again. And we look at our own lives and go, I'm not able to get back up again. But God is able to help people get back up. God is able and is full of living power to help people stand back up when they've fallen down. Not just once, not just twice, but to make getting back up a mechanism, a thing, a living spiritual organism that's just in you, that just triggers when you fall down. So you go, my great strength is not in the fact that I never fall down, but in the fact that God's put some living power in me to help me get back up when I can't anymore. God's able to do that, and he's able to do that for you today. Our scripture today is Luke chapter 24, verse 5. I'm going to read the text aloud. This is what it says. Why do you seek the living among the dead? You see, you and I are searching for something. We're looking for something. It presents itself to us in like happiness and the things that make me happy. It presents itself to us in the things that I'm passionate about. What do my passions tell me I should be doing and pursuing? It presents itself to us in any number of ways, feelings, things, strong experiences, but underneath all of those things, the thing that we're looking for is our life. The life that I thought I would live. The vision of my life that when I was young and small and in the golden infancy of my life, and I sat down and looked forward and I had a picture of what I thought my life would be. And it looked good. Whatever it looked like to you, it looked good. And you thought, I want that. And you didn't just think, I want that, you thought, that's me. You see, looking for the life that you want isn't just looking for some set of external things out there, it's looking for yourself. And the version of me that I thought I would be, the version of me that I wanted to grow up into, you and I are looking for that. And the simple strength and magnetic attraction of that has yanked you through decades of your life. It's just been so powerful and so attractive and so desirable and so bound up with your sense of yourself and who you are and who you thought you were supposed to be that you've spent decades and decades of your life looking for your life, looking for you, looking for the person that you thought that you were supposed to be. And you have turned over stone after stone after stone after stone looking for it. You've been looking for it in relationships that you've had. You've been looking for it in wins, things you thought you'd be successful at. You've been looking for it in accomplishments and in trophies you thought you'd win and in mountains that you thought you'd climb. You've been looking for it maybe in just a sense of joy, that I'm going to get to a place where I'm done worrying about things. That I'm going to get to a place where I feel satisfied, where I feel content. You've been looking for it over and over and over again, and all of these things. You've spent years and years of your life searching for your life, the life that you wanted to live, and the person that you felt called to be. This search makes me think of a well-known song from the Stephen Sondheim musical Company. The main character sings this climactic song. In some ways, the whole of the musical and its message is bound up in the song. You maybe know these lines. I'm sure a number of us could sing them here together. Somebody need me too much. Somebody know me too well. Somebody pull me up short and put me through hell and give me support for being alive. Make me alive. This person's looking, they're searching, and you can hear in the song all the things that they're looking for externally to themselves that will make me alive, that will make me be alive, that will make me feel alive. And I mean, some of these things up here are like negatives. They're like, put me through hell. You never dreamt that. But you've realized over time that there's sometimes you go through a hard thing in order to feel like I'm alive. And this character is singing this song, and there's anything that I need to go through or see or lay hold of or get from somebody else in order to be alive and to be made alive, I'm willing to go through it. Because if I'm not myself, if I haven't found the life that I'm meant to live, if I'm not made alive, if I'm not being alive, then my life probably isn't worth living. You and I sing this song all the time. It goes, according to a different melody. I don't know what melody you sing. I don't know what words this song has for you. I don't know the lyrics. The funny thing is that in the musical of your own life, you write the book, you write the lyrics, you do the notes, you do it all. But the essence of the song, you sing it. You're looking for your life. We all are. And the challenge, the thing that we have difficulty getting over is that in that essential search, we have fallen down. It would be one thing to fall down a few times on the way to getting it. Sure, okay, just tell me. I've got to fall down 2 times. I've got to fall down 4 times. I've got to fall down 12 times. I don't care, just as long as I know the number. But then after I've fallen down the number of times, I'm going to get it. And somebody is going to hold me too close. Somebody is going to love me too well. They're going to sit in my chair, all the things. You know the words. Whatever it is, after I fall down enough times, my life is going to come to me. And I'm going to be made alive. And if that were the story, we would be able to go, sure, I can get back down any number of times just long that I know that at some point it's going to come to the thing. It's going to come to the resolution. My life's going to come to me. I'm going to become the person that I know in my mind that I was supposed to be. And so it's 2 times, it's 4 times, it's 12 times, it's 24 times. It doesn't matter. I can take that. What we can't take is getting knocked down in such a way that we feel like I've just looked everywhere and I can't find myself. I don't feel alive. I can't find my life. I wasn't expecting to get knocked down in the essential task of discovering the person that I feel like I was made to be. That, I really can't take getting knocked down in that. And I don't know what getting knocked down made you feel that way. Maybe it's a career goal that you really wanted to accomplish. Maybe it's a relationship that fell apart. I don't know what it took, but at some point, you run into something and it knocks you down in a way where you go, well, that's the kind of getting knocked down that I wasn't expecting. And the whole search for life ends up feeling like it's this long getting walked through death. Because we've turned over all the stones, I've looked in all the places, I've tried to feel all the feelings, I've tried to do all the things. I know everything that I'm supposed to do in order to get the life that I'm supposed to live in order to become the I know. I've looked at the checklist, I've ticked all the boxes, I know all this stuff, and everything I turn over, I'm not finding life, I'm just finding death. Oh, good, more death. Oh, good, another thing I failed at. Oh, wonderful, another thing I didn't get. And your search for life becomes a revelation of death in the life that you feel like I was never supposed to lead. And that feels like getting knocked down in a way that you can't get back up from. You know, there's something in the nature of that search, in the way that we're going about it, that is built to make us feel that way. Can you see it? If I'm constantly hoping that I'm going to come into contact with something out here that's going to finally make me feel like me, that's going to finally make me feel like I'm alive, whenever I lose that external thing, like the lights go out, the power's out, when I'm living in that way, it's built in. It's a feature, not a bug, like feeling this way. Because as I lose or don't get the things that are external to me, I lose my whole life with it. My whole sense of myself, my whole sense of being alive goes. What we need is for something to happen in the way that I'm experiencing life, where it's not just hinging on whether or not it's external to me, whether or not I get that external thing, whether or not I have this external relationship, whether or not my life is just all external to me. I need something different that is changing it from an outside-in inflow to an inside-out inflow. I need to have life in here. I need to be alive in here, regardless of what's happening out there. Not that what out there doesn't matter, of course it does. The events of our lives, the plot of our lives, they hinge on what happens in relation to the things external to me. I'm not saying forget about those things. I'm saying your sense of being alive and being yourself has to come from in here. If it came from inside, you would be like King Midas. You'd show up to every situation, you'd touch it, and it would turn to gold. And not the bad kind of gold where you're like petrifying children, But like the good kind of gold in the metaphor, where like things come alive when you touch them. What if when you showed up to a situation, it was alive because you were alive and you were in the situation? What if when you showed up to something hard? What if when you showed up to loss? What if when you showed up to a challenge? What if you showed up to getting knocked down and you have life inside you? There's a spring welling up. Yourself is welling up. And so when everything else is unstable and fickle and contingent and that person's failing me and that thing's gone and that was taken away from me and I was treated unfairly over there and all of that happens and it feels like death, myself comes to the table and there's life welling up inside me, and so I touch it and it's living anyways. Not that it isn't hard, not that it doesn't hurt, not that we wouldn't hope to have better days in the future, but that where I'm not walking around going, I feel like I'm the walking dead because I've got life inside me, and so I turn things into life when I touch them. And when I speak, and when I show up into a hard situation, and when I show up to a challenge, it's life for me because I have life coming up in here. Our life is coming from the outside in when we're searching for life in the way that I've described, it sets us up over and over again to feel like I'm dying, like I'm losing, like I'm failing, like my life is being taken from me. But if you had something inside, if you had a source of life in here such that even in your hardest moments, you could sit with yourself and just be okay. Like, be okay being not okay. Because you're able to look inside and go, I'm me. There's life in here. I'm going through a hard thing, but there's life in here. If you could do that, you would have life inside you that would help you stand. And maybe at this moment when I'm talking to you, some of you are thinking forward and you're like, and this is the part where you tell me to just do it. This is the part where you tell me to like just be more alive, or like bet on myself or something, or double down, or whatever it is. But like again, the whole point of this is that we get knocked down in certain ways where like I know I don't have strength in myself to get back up from this. Maybe that thing over there, but not this plus this plus this. Just over and over again. We look inside ourselves and we're like, the whole point, Adam, duh. Thank you for telling me I need more life in here. Thank you so much. Wow, shocking. I didn't realize that. Thank you so much. And you're just going to tell me now to just do it. Wonderful, yeah. And that is the thing today. I just want to say to you, that's not the word that we have for you on Easter. The word that we have for you on Easter is that God can make you alive. God can make you alive in here, even when you feel like there's no life coming to you from out there. And if you had that, when you're in your darkest moment and when you're in your darkest day, you would be able to stand. Because the ability to stand almost doesn't matter at all if you're not able to do it in your darkest day and in your darkest moment. And God is able to make you alive so that you can stand when the earth is trying to make you lay down and be done and be dead and be in the dark. And you can know that God can do that for you because he did it for Jesus Christ. You don't need to find your life. You need to be made alive. You don't need to look for it out there. You need to be made alive in here. And on Easter, we remember that God made Jesus alive. He made him alive. And so if God is able to make Jesus alive, God can make you alive. And if you were made alive, then you would show up to your life saying, come hell or high water, I'm the one who's alive in this situation. So it might be hard, it might be painful, but it's going to be alive because God's made me alive. So I'm not going to walk away from this just feeling beaten up by it over and over and over again. Because in the day of your trial, you need to stand. And God made Jesus able to stand. In the day of his trial, he made him alive. God's Son came to earth. He came to this world. And the world took everything from him. The world took everything from him. God's Son felt like himself with God, felt like himself with the Father. He felt full of strength and pride and ability and power and love and joy and mercy, full of unitedness and intimacy with his Father, and he left that and gave it all up so that he could come to this world and seek out and find you and me. And when he came to this world, he knew that this was going to happen. He left behind all those things that was his life. He left them all behind to come to a world that said, wonderful, God's Son, now we can take everything from you. And so they took his sense of family from him, and they took his welfare from him. When he was captured, they took his friends from him. They took a sense of accomplishment from him. I don't know if people, in this time in this city when people are dying to feel like there's somebody once I feel like I've accomplished something. The world took Jesus' sense of accomplishment from him. I don't even know if you think about that when you think of Jesus, but Jesus was a master scholar. He was a master interpreter of the scriptures. And like the structures of the world that could have come to Jesus and said, you've got something to offer in scholarship, they like hated him. They wouldn't give him any of the attaboys, the criteria, or the credentials, or the things, or the privileged positions standing up and teaching. They don't give those things to him. Everything that would have made him feel like this is my life, the world took it from him. And finally, in the final moment, the world took his life from him. And they killed him and put him in the ground. But Jesus didn't take the grave lying down. God made him alive again and he stood back up. And God can make you alive again so that you can stand back up. I don't know what's knocked you down. Maybe you didn't get something that you really wanted. Maybe somebody hurt you. Maybe you had something and you lost it. And that feeling of just having this thing slip through your fingers just feels like I can't get back up from that. But you know, God's Son has a superpower. When the world knocked him down, he got back up. And God can give that same superpower to you. God can make you able to stand up, because in the thing that you're going through that's hard, you need to stand. You need to get back up. We live in a world today that when we're in pain and when we're hurting, we want to hear voices, and the world is growing and be able to give us voices that mostly say, I empathize with your pain. That is true. We should empathize with people's pain. And I don't know what hurt has knocked you down today, but I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sure you took a big blow on the chin, and anybody could be forgiven for being knocked down from it. And it's good to hear voices that would say, it's okay that you're laying down in this moment, that you're resting. But at some point, someone needs to come to you and say, you need to get back up. You need to stand up. And you need to stand up because God made you. And you were made good. And you have more to give. And there's a fire that's inside you, and you are made alive by God that burns in a particular way that wasn't made to burn in the same way that anybody else was made to be set on fire by the power of God. And there's work for you to do, and there's people for you to help, and there's good things coming for you if you would believe that God is a good gift giver. And so you've laid down long enough. It was right for you to lay down. I know that you're hurting, but it is time for you to get back up. It's time for you to stand. It's time for you to reach out to God and say, God, I can't get back up from this one on my own, but I believe that you made your Son stand up, and so you can make me stand up. And you should reach out to God in that way and stand, because you should stand up. You've been laying down long enough, and it's time for you to stand. You should believe in Jesus and stand back up. Get back up. Get back up today. You are not going to find your life searching in those external places. This is tricky, and it's a delicate thing. Of course, there are all sorts of things in our life that are good, wonderful gifts and graces in our lives that are made up of things that are external to us. People that we know and love. Mountains that we've climbed, things that we pursued, gifts that we were given, trophies that we've won. But all of those things, when we don't have essential life welling up inside of me apart from them, when I'm not able to say I'm alive regardless of those things stop becoming good, gracious, joyful things, and they start becoming crutches that my whole self is leaning on. Do you see it? Can you see yourself just like leaning? Your whole weight is bent over one splintery crutch. And when that thing gets removed, bam! There's nothing left to happen but for you to fall and fall hard. What I'm trying to help you to see today, what God is trying to do, is He's trying to build for you a self that can stand on its own 2 feet. Because God's living and dwelling inside you. And so these things that we want external to us, we're not leaning on them anymore. We're holding them. We're receiving them. We're treasuring them. We're tasting them. Sometimes we're even giving them. But I'm not leaning on them anymore because I can stand up on my own. I hope you can see in this moment how good that would be for you. How much you would come back to yourself if you were able to do that. But there's an additional reason. It would be good for people around you. You know, that song that we looked at, it's a wonderful, wonderful, beautiful song. There's one problem with it. Not everyone can sing it at the same time. Not everyone can go, somebody out there, love me. Something out there, give me something. Not everyone can sing it at the same time. Because there have to be people who are singing a different kind of song. There are people who have to be singing the song that goes like, I'm going to hold you too close. Do you see what I'm saying? There have to be people in the world who are able to say, I'm not right now the one who's looking around going, I need things from out there to come in here. There have to be people who say, I've got stuff in here that I can give to you. That's what Jesus sang. That's the version of the song that Jesus sang. I'm going to love you too well. I'm going to hold you too close. I'm going to let you put me through hell so I can come back and you don't have to go through it. Jesus saying, I'm showing up to love. And you need to be able to do that for people in your life. You know someone in your life. You know someone in your life who's looking around going, somebody love me. Somebody affirm me. Somebody give something to me. It takes someone who's singing a different kind of that song to answer that. And I know that there are people in your life that you want to be that person for. I had a hard thing that someone said to me recently. I was having an honest conversation with someone and we were chatting about a few things. We were really talking about how people external to us sometimes aren't great listeners. That's what we were talking about. And of course, I should have known that it was a trap. I should have known. But we opened ourselves up to speak in an honest way, and they said, well, while we're on the subject, can I share something with you? And I said, oh no. No, I said yes. And they said, you know, we were talking about a week ago, and I shared this thing with you. And I could just tell you weren't listening. And I could tell you were in a rush. And a few minutes later, you said you had to go and end the conversation and moved on. They're right. I did do that. And I remember that conversation really well. And I remember why I was in a rush, and I remember why I wanted to move on. And I could tell you like all the presenting issues, but deep down underneath that, what was really going on for me was like, I'm not filled up in here. And so I can't hold your thing. I can't hear your thing. I can't take it. I can't handle it. I hear that you're down. Bummer. And I did that in that conversation. And I wasn't alive and able to show up and be alive for somebody else. I know you've never done that to anybody else in your life. But I did. And I wish I had had something else to give them in that moment. When they took a risk to say, I need help. And I need someone to listen to me in this thing. You and I want to be the kind of people that have enough life welling up in here from God that we're able to see other people in their need and go, I've got something in here already. And so I've got more for you. I've got an open hand. I've got a listening ear. I've got feet that can go or come and help. The world needs people who are getting filled up somehow. Inside. It's contingency proof. Whatever's coming out there, something's coming back up in here. It makes me alive. It makes me feel like myself. I'm becoming the person that God made me to be. And so when somebody else shows up and said, here's my need, I'm able to go, I maybe don't have everything, but I've got something. You can come to me. The world needs people who are being made into people who can stand up, not just for themselves and for their own life, but for other people. This is the issue with being alive. Who's going to be made alive first? Who's going to be made alive first so that everybody else has a chance to be heard and healed and be made alive? Thank God that Jesus Christ was made alive first. Thank God that he went through what he went through. Thank God that he suffered and willingly suffered. Thank God that he said, I'm going to overcome the cross for joy. I'm going to laugh about it one day. For joy, I'm going to overcome the cross. And thank God that he wouldn't take death lying down, but that he stood back up again so that you can stand up, so that he can be the one who comes to you and says, I've got plenty. I've got life. And if you would come to me in faith, I can make you into the person that God made you to be. A contingency-proof version of yourself that no matter what's coming or what isn't coming, you're going to stand up and go, I'm the person that I was supposed to be. And God, it feels good. And then as God makes you alive, you're going to be able to come to other people and say, I've got more for you. I can help you. And I can show you who made me alive. Jesus Christ did, and he's helped me to stand. Stand up today in faith in Jesus Christ. Amen.